Hey y'all, welcome to PJs and Mugs. This is Story Time with Jessica. It's all good. I am so glad you're joining me today for the first episode. That means this episode is a bit of an introduction. So let's just talk about where it even came from. For years, and I mean years and years and years, people have been like, Jessica, you need to make videos. Jessica, you should make videos. You should do a thing. You should do TikTok. Jessica, you need to do more YouTube videos. Jessica, do you even have a YouTube channel? By the way, yes, since 2012, that's 13 years. But anyway, so people have just been like, dude, we want to see more of you, Jessica. The thing is, people forget, I am 40 as of now. I was born in the 1900s. I was born in the 80s. You know what that means? It means that phones weren't attached to our hips when I was younger. I remember days when you had to go to the wall to get your phone, and you could only go as far as that cord was. The best thing was getting a phone in your room. That's right. If you got a phone in your room, oh my gosh, you were so independent. Now you just have to hope mom and dad don't pick up on the other side. So this whole video thing is very difficult. Kind of stressful, but I want to shout out to all the people who are like, Jessica, we got your back. The folks, especially my wonderful, wonderful assistant, who's like, I can do this. I'm young and edgy. I know how to do things. Okay, that's not exactly what they said, but still, the point is, this is not easy, but folks have asked for it because they know I'm fun. I'm so much fun, and I have come to terms with that. But then I was like, well, what can I do? Y'all, I've come up with characters that you've never seen. I've come up with ideas that have never been posted. It's hard. It is so hard. So what made PJs and Mugs happen here? I got a lot of stories. I've done a lot of things in this crazy life. I've managed to do a lot. I've said yes to a lot of things. By the way, as awesome that's been, there are some things I definitely should have said no to. And one day I was at a retreat talking about some of my past jobs. Yes, there are quite a few. And one new friend at this table I was sitting at was like, you know, Jessica, I could listen to your stories of your jobs for days. And that's when it clicked. Coming up with more creative things and ideas that come out of the imagination, while that's great, and yes, I'm creative, and yes, my imagination's always going, I have so much true stuff, so much real stuff. I could talk for days. I mean, days, okay? If you've come to any of my comedy shows, you know a lot of my comedy comes from truth and real life stories. So when this person said that, it hit me. There's still a lot that you don't know. There's still a lot in my comedy that I haven't spoken about. And since I exploit my life for comedy, why not exploit my life for YouTube? No, because I don't have to think that hard. I'm just going to tell you stuff and see what happens. So these stories, all these stories that are about to come are literally real life situations. Some of them are jobs. Just to give you a few things I've done in my past. I've been a telemarketer, right? I worked with a lot of kids with things like after school programs, birthday party entertainment, teaching theater. I taught the SATs for a little while. There's all that. I used to work in a nonprofit where I helped single pregnant teenagers. I lived in New Jersey and worked with kids in New Jersey, staying on the campus of Princeton University, where we got kicked out of Six Flags, right? So that's my life. This is my life. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot in this cup, y'all. I was like, okay, it's time to do it. It's time to get even deeper. Maybe even tell you the behind the scenes stories of some of my popular comedy bits. So here goes. Every Sunday, right here on YouTube, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I'm over here in the ATL area. What's up, Atlanta, Georgia? So no matter where you are, figure out what time that is for you and come tune in. This is a wonderful way to end your weekend because it's Sunday night. A lot of you are going to work tomorrow. Most likely not me, but a lot of you are going to work tomorrow. So while you're doom scrolling, why not take a break and listen to a story? Now, where did the PJs and Mugs part come from? I love pajamas. I love pajama parties. I don't wear pajamas. Just keeping it real. If I have pajamas, it's for something cool, like my annual girls get together that I have sometimes, or a fun pajama party thing I went to. But the reality is my pajamas are like old big t-shirts, okay? And I'm not the only one. I know I'm not. So do know that this is a front. I bought all these pajamas for this, but it's cozy. And if I wear pajamas or something, I'm going to wear those pajamas until I go to bed. And then I'm like, buttons, why would I wear buttons to bed? That's crazy. Mugs. Y'all, I have so many mugs taking up space in my cabinet. But when you think of mugs, you think warmth in a cup. It might not be that in the cup, but that doesn't matter. Either way, I was like, you know what? Story time when you curl up with hot chocolate or coffee or a taste of wine in some cozy PJs, that feels like a way to bring us all together. So if you wear pajamas, put yours on because you should be in bed by now, right? Depending on the age range. It doesn't have to be fancy pajamas. I'm just doing this for the TV, the phone, the computer, whatever you're watching it on. What's in your cup? I don't care what's in your cup. Okay, I don't care what your cup looks like. I'm just being cute with mine. Speaking of which, this is a We're All Chocolate mug. This is official Jessica It's All Good merch. This is based off of one of my popular comedy stories. Yes, this episode is very intro, but I should go ahead and give you a story right now. And since I'm using We're All Chocolate, we might as well talk about that for a second. We're All Chocolate has not only become a brand for merch like shirts and mugs, it also was a comedy special that I did in 2020, a pandemic comedy special. People wore masks, people were separated, like distance, so we could have this really cool show. And a lot of people donated because there was a really great place that this came from, and I felt like it's something that could change the world. But where did it all start? It all started on a Friday in 2009 when I was about 24 years old, teaching at a program, a drama program, an after-school program. I started teaching a long time ago out here. I put a lot of kids on stage, and I wasn't a regular teacher. Totally would have got fired if I was. And in this program, it was an after-school program where I went to different schools. The reason I know it was a Friday is because of the school that I was working at on Fridays and where this story happened. This is based off of a story that a little boy set up for me, and that story has changed my life. Just like a lot of my kids, it planted a seed for my comedy career. So let's get into it. We're All Chocolate. Future reference. We're going to get into these stories a lot faster starting next week. So stick with me, okay? So We're All Chocolate. I do change the name of my kids. So in the story, I call him Gary. His name is not really Gary, but his name started with a G, so that was kind of my thing. I don't do that with all the names I change, but in this case, you got a G name, let's go with Gary. Gary was an interesting kid, and I think he wanted to get on my nerves. Like, I think that was like one of his goals when I was teaching. And one day he just randomly raised his hand. Like everything I've said in my comedy, this part is true. He raised his hand and he was like, Miss Jessica, I have an announcement to make. And I'm like, yes, because I used to let kids express themselves, which might have been a mistake, but the kids loved me for it. So I let this kid express his story. He's like, Miss Jessica, my grandma told me that all the brown people, God left them in the oven too long. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now, of course, I'm the teacher. I gotta be cool. I am one of the minorities in this class. So my students are like, oh no. And they are freaking out. It's like he said something that pushed a button and it was the crazy button. The class is like, oh, Miss Jessica, oh my God. No, it's not true. And when I tell that in the story, seriously, when my kids said it's not true, I still remember the child to this day. Is one of my babies. Oh my gosh, I love this kid. But she was just like, no, that's not true. Because, kids don't know what adults know and what we don't know. And I definitely knew that I was, in fact, not left in an oven too long. But the babies, they're doing all this. And before I could really do anything, Gary had already processed, oh, I said something wrong. My class is freaking out. I got to do something. So you see his little eyes go to the side where he's like, oh, let me think. So he's like, Miss Jessica, I got another announcement. And I'm like, okay, what is it, sweetheart? And he's like, all the brown people. I'm like, okay, we're on this brown people thing. He's like, all the brown people are cool because they're made out of chocolate. And I'm like, okay. So then I look at Gary because I'm thinking I'm going to use this moment to teach. And I'm just like, Gary, if all the people are made out of chocolate, if all the brown people are made out of chocolate, what about the not so brown people, huh? And so he's like, okay, white chocolate. And that's when I stood up and told the class, hey, y'all, according to Gary's theories, we are all chocolate. And the kids were like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. We're chocolate. And they just got really into it. And while there's more to this story, which I'll probably get into another day, when I get into kids art, this actually bleeds into kids art. I used to do that a lot more in my early days. But I want to really talk about what this, I've got so much drink, what this We're All Chocolate thing is. While that was a fun moment in class, I'm like, this is a beautiful way to kind of help make the world a better place, because people really do think of each other from such a negative perspective. So I was thinking after this moment, what if we did all think of each other from a positive perspective? What if instead of seeing each other like, oh, you're different, it's, oh, you're just another tasty flavor, okay? You're another kind of chocolate. Oh my God, you're like spicy chocolate. Oh my God, you're like hot chocolate. You're like white chocolate. You're like caramel mixed in chocolate. You're like mint chocolate, which, by the way, mint chocolate is a disgrace. If you're mint chocolate, I can't get with you. But the point is, I was like, I'm going to use this and I'm going to make this into something. Now, I didn't realize that I was going to make it into something big until 2015 when I was in my early DJ days. That's right. Another fun job. Another DJ was training me on some stuff while a third DJ was there. And when I told him the story, the guy was like, yo, that could be a comedy special. That was in 2015. That was like 6 years later. So by 2020, it's a comedy special. And by 2025, it's a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, and in fact, a mug. So I try to do comedy from a positive place as I try to make the world a better place. So this is kind of my contribution to that. These stories and jokes that make us calm down a little bit when we talk about things that people have made so complicated, because it's really not. Also, because this is kind of a behind the scenes look into this crazy life of mine and getting these stories, I will give you some truth that a lot of people do not know about Gary from We're All Chocolate. It's like I'm about to tell you the tea. So coming close. Gary's not white. What? I set you up. And by the way, he might be like half white. So there's that. But the kid who told this story looked very brown. I never really figured out what the situation was with the family, but I know him and his sister were both they both look like they could be from like Middle Asia or Southern Asia, like Indian, Persian. I don't know. I got to figure out all my countries. But the point was, they were definitely brown, but the whole family was white. So they were either biracial children or they were maybe adopted children. Never asked. You don't ask those things. But I am convinced that his white grandmother was trying to explain why he was darker than the rest of everybody else. When I tell this story, it is a setup where it makes it sound like some white kid told a black woman that her whole people was left in the oven. So I give you that story on purpose. But if you were physically there, it would be a bit of a different story. While there were still certain perspectives probably from some of the kids, it's a funny situation that explains the story even deeper on why this kid might have wanted to share this. Maybe he was like, Miss Jessica, we're both in the oven according to my white grandma. I don't know. By the way, it is not meant to be offensive. This is a story that happened one day, and this was me trying to help kids process things like pigment. But the reality is we moved away from that quickly when we got into the flavor, the positive flavor of things. So this will always be one of my mottos. I will take this in life. And I hope I see this student and his sister one day again. Again, this was 2009. They are probably grown-ups. I'm old. Sorry, it hits me sometimes. I'm 40 and I'm loving 40. I just can't believe how much time has passed in this whole adulting journey. Anyway, I don't know how long these episodes are going to last. I don't know. I don't plan on them being this long. But if you stayed here for the full story, I just want to thank you. And next week, we're going to have another cool story. I don't know what that story is right now because, again, beginning stages. Maybe one day these videos will be so much more quality, like good quality, HD, 4D, 4HD, 5HD. Do those make sense? I don't know. I don't know these things. But I do want to say to all my fans, thank y'all so much for hopping on this journey with me. I hope that you will come back and join me next week. If you are not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that little like button. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever done that before. I sound like all those people like podcast influencers. Oh, and I know if you're new to this, you might not have noticed. I only got like 200 and something. I might have 300 something followers after 13 years. I am not an influencer. That was not my plan. But right now, I feel like I should sound like one. So follow and subscribe. Like the page, hit the thumbs up, and I can't wait to see you back for the next episode of PJs and Mugs. Bring your mugs, baby, because we're going to have a good time. Okay, I'm Jessica. It's all good. You've been watching. Bye.